You ever just stopped and wondered how your phone's GPS knows exactly where you are? I mean, right down to the very street corner you're standing on? Well, it's all thanks to this giant, invisible address system that covers the entire planet. And today, we're going to break down exactly how that amazing system works.
I mean, think about it. Our Earth is massive. So how in the world do pilots, sailors, or even your phone pinpoint one single exact location? Well, to figure this out, we're going to follow a young explorer named Aryan. See, he's on this epic mission to find a legendary lost treasure, but his map, it only has 2 mysterious numbers on it. And right now, he is completely and totally lost.
Luckily for Aryan, he's got a guide, the super smart GeoBot, and GeoBot's first lesson is absolutely crucial. You can't just wander around on a giant planet hoping to stumble upon something. Nope. You need a system, a kind of secret code. You know, it's like if you're meeting a friend at a shop in some huge market. You wouldn't just say, "Meet me at the market." You tell them, "Hey, I'm at the 7th shop in the 5th row." See? That's a grid system.
A chessboard works the exact same way. Every single square has its own unique address, right? It's made of a letter and a number. So when this white pawn here moves forward, players can keep track of that move perfectly by saying D2 to D4. The Earth uses a really similar grid system, it's just on a much, much bigger scale.
Okay, so Aryan's quest is officially kicking off. To crack this code and find that treasure, he first needs to understand these horizontal lines that wrap all the way around the Earth. This is the first piece of our global address puzzle. GeoBot explains that these horizontal lines are called parallels of latitude. The easiest way to think of them is like rungs on a giant ladder. They tell you how many steps you need to go north or south from a very special starting line right in the middle of the Earth. And this is that special starting line, the equator. It's an imaginary circle that goes right around the belly of the Earth, splitting it perfectly into a top half and a bottom half. We call this starting line 0 degrees latitude. It is our #1 reference point for that first number on Aryan's map. So as you move away from the equator, you're taking these steps north or south. Each one of these steps is a parallel of latitude. And you'll notice how they're all parallel to the equator. They never touch, but the circles get smaller and smaller and smaller as you get closer to the North Pole at 90 degrees north or the South Pole at 90 degrees south. Okay, time for a little pop quiz. What is the name of that 0-degree line that splits the world into a northern and a southern half? I'll give you a second. You got it? It's the equator. Awesome. So Aryan now gets the whole horizontal lines thing. But just knowing how far up or down to go isn't enough, right? To find a single spot, he needs the second part of the code, that second number on his map. And this comes from the vertical lines, the ones that run from top to bottom. And GeoBot reveals the second big clue, longitude. These imaginary lines are called meridians, and they all run from the North Pole straight down to the South Pole. What they do is tell us how far east or west a location is from another really important starting line. Right, so just like the equator is 0 degrees for latitude, we needed a 0-degree line for longitude. This one is called the prime meridian. So why there? Well, it's a cool story actually. Way back in 1884, countries from all over the world agreed to have it run through a famous observatory in Greenwich, England. So now everything to the east of this line is in the eastern hemisphere, and everything to the west is in the western hemisphere. Okay, let's do a quick side-by-side to make sure this is all crystal clear. Latitudes are the parallels. They run east-west and they never ever touch. Longitudes are the meridians. They run north-south and they all meet up at the poles. And here's the key difference to remember. Those latitude circles get smaller near the poles, but all the longitude lines, they are the exact same length. All right, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Aryan has both of his clues, the horizontal latitude lines and the vertical longitude lines. Now it's time to put them together and create the ultimate treasure map for the entire planet. So let's really visualize this grid coming together. We can see those horizontal latitude lines wrapping around the Earth, and we have the vertical longitude lines running from pole to pole. Now separately, they just give us a general direction, right? But let's see what happens when they finally start working together. And boom! Put them together and they create a complete grid that covers the entire Earth. Now, every single point on the planet sits at the intersection of one latitude line and one longitude line. This is the secret code to finding any location. The treasure is finally within reach. Now with our grid all set up, you can really see how the Earth is divided up into 4 quarters, or hemispheres. You've got the equator at 0 degrees latitude, splitting it into north and south. And you've got the prime meridian at 0 degrees longitude, splitting it into east and west. Simple as that. So every single location on Earth falls into 2 of these hemispheres at the same time. A place could be in the northern and the western hemispheres, or maybe it's in the southern and the eastern hemispheres. This just helps us narrow down a location even faster. Okay, Aryan has the map. He understands the grid. He is so close. Now it's time for the final step, using this grid to find the exact address for his mysterious location.
The official fancy term for this global address is coordinates. A location's coordinates are its unique address on the grid, given as a pair of values. And there's one simple rule you always have to follow. You state the latitude first and then the longitude.
And success! Aryan has the coordinates, and he has officially completed his mission. Let's take a quick look at his mission log to recap what we learned. The Earth is a sphere. Latitude lines run east-west. Longitude lines run north-south. Put them together and they form a grid that lets us find any place using its 2 coordinates. And you know, this isn't just for animated adventures and finding lost treasure. As GeoBot reminds us, this system is absolutely essential in the real world. It's how pilots navigate the skies, it's how ship captains cross vast oceans, and it's even how scientists track massive weather patterns. It truly is the invisible framework that helps us navigate and understand our world.
And that pretty much brings our journey to a close. We've seen how a simple grid of imaginary lines lets us pinpoint any location on this huge planet of ours. So I'll just leave you with this one question. If you could have the coordinates to any place in the world, real or imaginary, where would you want to go? Thanks for joining us on the adventure.